On this vote, the yeas are 232, the nays are 193. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and this is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update as Democrats in the House of Representatives are working away. Take a look, you guys. House passes a bill to cap the cost of insulin, and the House passes Secure Act 2.0. Here's what that means for your retirement savings as they're working away, rolling out legislation, trying to get things done in this midterm election year and get provisions out. Now, in addition to that, if you missed my last video, you might want to check it out as we heard from Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and she let us know that one of the provisions currently on the negotiating table that is being considered right now is gas stimulus checks. They said getting rid of the federal gas tax is not enough because it doesn't ensure that those who need the help the most get it. That the oil companies, the gas companies, might not bring those gas prices down, and the only way to make sure that consumers benefit from legislation is to send out direct assistance, direct payments right to the people in the form of gas stimulus checks, and it is being considered right now. And again, if you missed that video, you might want to check it out right after this one. I've got the video footage for you right from Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Now, in addition to that, I've also got some video footage for you from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans in the Senate, and he's letting us know that they disapprove of what Democrats are doing, and he lets us know that the American people disapprove as well, and that the majority of Americans blame the Democrats for this sky-high inflation, incredible costs of living, and also gas prices that we have never seen before. And he's saying that it's their economic agenda items that have caused this. It's not the war in Russia, that this inflation is Biden's. We're going to be hearing what they have to say, and they're saying you can't make this stuff up. What they're trying to push through is going to make things even worse. Now, I'm going to let you see it for yourself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as to what's happening as the House and Democrats are working away to push through legislation. Republicans are saying they need to put a stop to this. So let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the Ram fam. I'll let you know everything that's going on. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, and consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. More content coming out on that channel this month in the month of April. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this provision that was in the Build Back Better bill that has passed the House of Representatives. So Democrats are starting to take some of their economic agenda items and passing it through piece by piece, and we will see what other items might be coming up here. Now, the article says House passes a bill to cap the cost of insulin. The House on Thursday, yesterday, passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month, a move that would significantly lower the price of the life-saving drug for more than 7 million diabetes patients. And the bill passed on mostly party lines at 232 to 193. Now, under the bill, Medicare beneficiaries would pay no more than $35 for each 30-day insulin prescription. Cost sharing for beneficiaries and private plans would be limited to the lesser of either $35 or 25% of the health plan's negotiated price for a 30-day prescription. The insulin cap was originally part of the sweeping health reforms in Democrats' Build Back Better legislation, including limited Medicare drug negotiations. Now, jumping down, it says far too many Americans are struggling to afford this drug, and it is time for Congress to say enough is enough. But while it would save consumers thousands of dollars at the pharmacy, the bill does not lower the overall price of insulin and does not solve the problem of skyrocketing drug prices. Instead, it would shift more of the cost onto insurers and employers. House Republicans latched onto that idea, accusing Democrats of socialist price controls that would allow pharmacy benefit managers to hide savings from patients. they did not fault manufacturers for setting the hype list prices. But in an effort to gain Republican support, it may be combined with a bipartisan legislation of Senator Jeanine Shaheen and Susan Collins that seeks to lower the underlying cost of insulin through a yet-to-be-defined process. So they want to pass this through the regular means. Right now, they're going to have to get 10 Republicans in the Senate on board, and they're trying to figure out ways to do that. So trying to push through various items that were previously in the Build Back Better bill. And in addition to that, link in the description below, House passes Secure Act 2.0, and it says the House of Representatives has passed a bill that would improve the retirement savings system for U.S. workers, moving it closer to becoming law. The Securing a Strong Retirement Act, H.R. 2954, also called the Secure Act 2.0, was approved on Tuesday with a bipartisan vote of 414 to 5. Now, the legislation heads to the Senate. Now, some of the highlights of the bill is that this second Secure Act has a number of provisions that would benefit retirement savers and employers. It says one would require that employers to automatically enroll eligible workers in 401k plans at a rate of 3% of their salary, which would increase annually until employees are contributing about 10% of their pay. Employees could opt out or select a different contribution amount. Businesses with 10 or fewer employees or at least are less than 3 years old would be excluded from this mandate. Now, the plan would also make changes as to how much savers can contribute if they're near retirement and when retirees need to pull money from their accounts. Individuals ages 62, 63, and 64 could make catch-up contributions of $10,000, which would be up from $6,500. It would also increase the starting age for requirement minimum distributions to 73 in 2022, 74 in 2029, and 75 in 2032, up from the current 72. So there you have it, you guys. A lot of legislation being proposed in the House, pushing through. We're going to see if it makes it in the Senate, and I will keep you up to date. But now, let's take a look at Republicans' response to everything going on and what they have to say, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree that the legislation getting pushed through is making inflation and these issues worse, or do you feel like, no, we need this assistance to help us get through at this time? Let me know and take a look at this video clip.
Now, on another matter, the American people know our country is hurting. One national survey just found that only 22% say our country is headed in the right direction. 7 in 10 Americans just told another poll that our nation's economy is, quote, in poor shape, end quote. The worst inflation in 40 years is fleecing American consumers. From the gas pump to the grocery store, American workers are earning raises, but prices are climbing faster than their pay. The Biden administration has tried to pass the buck for this mess. They've tried to blame everything but their own radical policies. They've claimed that a year of runaway inflation was actually, listen to this, Putin's price hike because of a war in Europe that's barely a month old. They've claimed the problem is evil profiteering CEOs because apparently the private sector was not seeking profits back when Republicans had the economy humming with low inflation just a few years ago. American families aren't buying the spin for 1 second. When asked by another poll what they think is the main reason for rising gas prices, listen to this, America's top answer was, quote, the Biden administration's economic policies, end quote. An outright majority of the country agree the president has made inflation worse. But the administration isn't changing course. They're actually doubling down. The Biden administration began the week by proposing a budget that would skyrocket domestic discretionary spending on liberal wish list items and smack the country with the biggest tax hike in American history. Just last night, Democrats tried to ram through another radical nominee who would have only compounded the economic pain. President Biden's choice of David Weil for a senior post at the Department of Labor was a naked attempt to achieve through bureaucracy what the far left cannot achieve through legislation. This nominee is famous in Washington for hostility to small business. He's received tens of thousands of dollars from big labor to do their bidding. He openly sought to end both the franchise system and the gig economy as we know them. Fortunately, last night, a bipartisan majority of senators rallied together. We saved the president and the Democratic leader from digging themselves into an even deeper hole with this nominee. Also, overnight, we learned President Biden is going to try to slap another Band-Aid on gas prices by draining more oil out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The reserve is supposed to exist for giant unforeseen crises, such as a war between great powers. It's not there so that anti-energy politicians whose policies have raised gas prices can try to hide that from the public. It's also worth remembering that back in 2020, as oil prices were cratering, Republicans tried to seize the opportunity to refill the strategic reserve. It would have been a win-win-win. Helped stabilize our energy industry in the early days of the crisis, gotten American taxpayers an incredible deal with oil at bargain basement prices, and enhanced our readiness going forward. But you know what happened? Senate Democrats blocked it. They said buying oil at rock bottom prices and building up our reserve would have been, quote, listen to this, a bailout for big oil, end quote. So the Democratic leader bragged about killing that proposal. You can't make this stuff up. Our colleagues misunderstand basic economics and basic national security every chance they get. Taxing, spending, radical nominations, and gimmicky half measures. The American people already blame the Democrats for the fix we're in, and every week our colleagues seek new ways to prove them right.
Man, so there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, we're hearing there's other provisions that are also on the table for negotiation, one of which, as I mentioned, is gas stimulus checks. Now, as all this legislation starts going through, I will keep you up to date so that way you know what's going on with legislation, Congress, everything taking place. I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free, just hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me once again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.